Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? So the cast couldn't show up. I'm so sorry. Who's excited for an Orphan Black panel? Who was here at last year's panel? Nice, nice. So who's here for the first time? It'd be the opposite people. See how that worked out? We're gonna do a little clip first. You guys want to watch a little clip first? Why don't we go ahead and roll that?
We're clones. We're someone's experiment, and they're killing us off. Who is the original? Who created us?
There's 9 of you.
No, there's only one of me. Shut down the test.
This is important for all of you.
Until Sarah comes to heal, Casino will suffer.
This is my life.
Yeah. I like when the girls are making out, like 5 people over there are like, woo! A couple house rules, you guys know them. I gotta say them anyway. Is there flash photography allowed at this panel? Is there video allowed at this panel? Is there fun allowed at this panel? Yeah. Oh, I want a little more enthusiasm. Is there fun allowed at this panel? Yes! Hey, standing room only folks. Hi. Thank you guys for roughing it. Because of your help, we've raised roughly $7,000 for Operation Smile. So give all of yourselves a round of applause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think we're almost ready. Is everybody enjoying themselves this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con? Have you guys been coming to any other panels here at NerdHQ? Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, it means the world to me that you believe in us and you support us, that you buy our merch and you support us as a company, that you believe in Operation Smile and you support them as an organization, and most importantly, that you support these shows and these actors and these writers and these directors, these panelists. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you, in this particular order, Ari Millen, Christian Brune, Maria Doyle Kennedy, Dylan Bruce, Jordan Gavaris, and Tatiana Maserati. Welcome back, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And new friends that weren't here last year, welcome.
Hey.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you.
So listen, you guys know the drill. You guys who were here last year, who has questions? They have answers. Sometimes. Yes, right over there on the right.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm really excited to be here and to see you guys. My question, I'm having difficulty constructing sentences, so bear with me.
You're doing a great job.
So there was one episode that the character Allison wasn't in, and I literally felt bad that the actress wasn't in it, and it took me a while to figure out that, Tatiana, you were actually in that episode, just someone else. And so I wondered, for the rest of the cast, is there ever a moment where you kind of forget that Tatiana is this amazing actress who can play 20,000 different people in half a second?
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. Yes, the answer to that is yes. It's weird too because I mean, I know you guys all you know her, you know all these different parts of her. We actually work with the girl and it is I'm talking about you like you're not here. we work with Tat and it still gets a little confusing sometimes, especially if we have let's say we have like a clone scene in the morning where she's going to be playing 3 different characters. She's in costume as one, but rehearsing as another, and then rehearsing as the third. And when Sarah's voice is coming out of Casima's body, at that point, my brain, I have an aneurysm, is what happens.
I think you and I struggled a lot when we did the 2 clone scene, which was Felix,
Tony and Sarah.
And I'd been Tony for like 3 days,
Yeah.
and then it was like suddenly Sarah was there, and me and you were like, are we still kind of like the sexual tension was still sort of there.
It was all the physical mannerisms too. Tony's, his what is this called, a gait? When someone like
Machismo, bravado,
bravado was coming through in Sarah's.
Yeah.
Sarah. What?
What did you just say?
Dylan, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't. But I can show you a bravado walk right here if you want it. So something like this. It's a little pimp strut. What am I doing?
flimsy.
Sit down. I'm embarrassing my mother right now.
Maria, Christian, Ari, you guys have anything you want to add to that?
Well, I always work with Allison, mostly, but then in episode 10, which it got cut out of the episode, but it's on the DVD and Blu-ray extras, there's a scene with Donnie versus Rachel, and that was, it's if you haven't seen it, it's a lot of fun. Donnie pretty much tries to threaten Rachel, and it doesn't... You can imagine how that goes.
He starts it out a little bit soft. He's sort of turning himself in a chair.
Yeah, he starts off on the wrong foot. But I remember being on set, and I'm used to seeing Allison all the time, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting in dyad, just like off camera, with Rachel, and I don't know how to talk to Tat, because it's like who are you? I'm married to you, but what's going on?
And it's also just impossible to be nice to Rachel. No matter what happens, you just see her and you're just like, that bitch.
So intimidating.
Just can't help it.
But she's got great hair, guys. We got to all agree on that.
Killer hair.
Great hair.
I came in the second season, so I was a fan before, and I've been watching. I didn't have many multiple clone or if any scenes, but I just remember my first experience. It was my second or third day on set, and we were up the ranch, and you were coming down the stairs. You had just filmed something upstairs, like Helena in bed or something like that. And Helena was my favorite clone from the first season. And then Tat came down the stairs, and she gave me this just little smile. And it was Tat, but to me it was Helena, and I almost shit my pants.
She did something so similar to me when I asked her once what Felix had very rarely interacted with Helena, and one day I was sitting there like looking at her, and I was in character, and I'm like, what does Helena think of Felix? And she looks at me and like cranes her neck up so slowly, and she says, do you want to know? Do you want to know, or do you want to wonder?
And she's obviously just wondering what kind of food you have under your bed.
Tat, do you have anything you want to add to any of those anecdotes?
What was the question?
Who's got the next question? Who's got a microphone? Right here, right in front.
How you doing? I love the show, and all you guys do great. My question is for Tat, is what's your favorite character? Which one is the hardest to identify with, and which one do you want to identify with most? And do you have any trouble transitioning?
Wow.
Did you rehearse that before you came, sir? That was very well said.
My favorite character changes every single day. I was really excited about Tony. I love Tony. Helena, Rachel this season was really exciting for me because she offers a huge challenge, and I think she'd probably be the one that I relate to, that I find it most difficult to kind of connect with. But at the same time, we all have those tendencies in us, and it's just kind of admitting to it and then, sitting in it. And with her, she's got a stillness that I don't have and a kind of elegant power that I wish I had, So she's kind of sort of the answer for most of those questions, I think, if I remember. And Sarah's bravery, too. Sarah's kind of her acceptance of her faults, her acceptance of who she is, and her sort of single-mindedness with what she wants, I really admire. Yeah.
Who's got? Yes, but you can applaud the answer if you'd like to. People are always like, I don't. Should I? I don't. I liked it. I liked it. I didn't. Yes, you're right there.
Hi, I had the pleasure of meeting the real Cosima earlier this year, and she's
awesome.
an incredible, amazing person. And she told me that she was the only clone that was based on a real person, and so I was wondering if that changes the way you approach playing that clone, and if it changes the way the cast approaches acting against you.
Yeah, because we all met Cosima initially I think in a Clone 101 sort of thing, where she sort of explained it to us. For me, it was exciting to have her as maybe a little bit of a map to Cosima, but I went another direction with her. But what I took from her was the way she talked about science was the way I talk about art and film and TV and improv and stuff like that. She had the same passion and emotion and just nerdiness about it. And so I really clung on to that. And she's also just like really cool, so I tried to be cool as well. What did you guys, when you guys met Cosima?
Well, I noticed, I don't know, she loves to do that thing. She talks with her hands a lot, right? Didn't you say that you pulled some of that from her?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of this, and there's just these kind of emphatic gestures that are, I don't know, they're just wicked. I wish I had them, but when I talk with my hands, it just looks like I'm sort of having like a...
I think she's painting really difficult concepts and
She
trying
is.
to make them simple. So,
Yeah.
so her hands are
They're
this,
doing
like,
some of the,
yeah.
they're extending, it's like the paintbrush. Yeah, I like that.
I'm sorry, but you just really looked like you were masturbating there. I'm totally not allowed to say that, am I? Oh, shit.
You guys want to talk about masturbating?
Next question. Next question.
Of course, he
Who's got a
careens
microphone?
in beside
That, I was like, that's my cue to
There we
enter the
go. I'm
really
conversation.
sorry. But
Masturbation,
lower the
yep.
tone.
Don't apologize.
No, that's-
Everyone
that's
in the rest of the
actually
world loves
Christian.
it too.
Masturbation is a perfectly natural part.
Let my friend Christian Brune tell you
Everybody-
all about it. He likes
first
turnips.
you get an image in your mind, and oh, okay, sorry. Yes, you.
Hello. I hope you still have my Adventure Time medal I gave you last year.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you.
This question's for everyone. I was wondering if there's now that we have so many more clones, I was wondering if there's a particular clone for you in the cast that inspires them the most.
Allison inspires me to drink. I'm like, should I have the Chardonnay? Yes. What would Allison do? And I do it. Anybody else?
I'm just waiting to find out. And hopefully we got some good stuff for you in the third season.
I think like not like a clone that inspires me in my life, but watching you work as Tony totally inspired me, and that was the catalyst to get me to reinvestigate what I was doing and who my character is and who I am even as a person. That was like a launch pad for me. That was really incredible, brave work. That is not easy. That is not easy to sit in something that seems so unfamiliar to you and sit there in the muck, in the discomfort, and just go. That was totally brave.
I think Helena inspires me what not to eat, basically. Don't eat anything that she eats, and you'll be okay.
Are not in the same combination, anyway.
Definitely not like the anchovies with the, yeah.
I think Sarah. I spend most of my time with the Sarah clone, and even though she obviously drives me crazy a lot of the time, and she's a brat, and she makes some bad choices or has done, but I totally admire her bravery, her fearlessness, and her kind of. She has a kind of a deep sense of honor in there that's very clear, even throughout all her mistakes and messing. So I love her.
Who's got the next microphone? Right over here on the left.
Hi, guys. Quick two-part question. One, are you going to be doing Smiles for Smiles after this? And if so, could I get a picture with Allison?
I think I see Allison right here. You can take a picture with her. Right now. Let's make it happen. Picture time.
Amazing.
Smiles for Smiles is the photo booths that we do where people just come in and $20 a pop for a photo. These guys are very, very busy, as you probably could guess. So I'll talk to these guys if we can work it out. We'll send it out on the NerdHQ app, so download that. And if we can't do it, then sorry. Who's got the next mic? Right here.
Hi, my name's Matt. Tatiana, I'm really sorry that you haven't been nominated for an Emmy for lead actress and supporting actress. You should get both at the same time. And maybe if you don't get supporting, Maria or Jordan could get the supporting actress. But my question is...
Excuse me, sir. Felix is a man?
No, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right.
But my question is for Ari. Did you know you were going to be a clone, and how do you prepare for that?
Thank you for the question. I was going to be dead in episode 6. The first thing I did on set was I came in and met with John, and he walked me over and introduced me, and he said, "That's the man who's going to kill you."
Sorry about you. You're going to die.
And so as the season progressed, reading the scripts, and 6 came, and I was like, okay, here we go. I hope it's great. And I was reading, and and I'm not dead. And I was like, holy shit. So then 7 came, not dead. 8 came, not dead. 9 came, and I got a phone call. And Graham was on the other line, and he's like, how would you feel if... And that's how it happened. And so I had 2 weeks to practice my pull-ups.
He was standing on a box the whole time. Get off it.
Shut up. Who's got the next one? Right here.
Hello.
Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hi. My name is Nina. First of all, I would like to give a quick shout out for how smart the show is that you're a part of. I'm actually a professional science communicator, and since your show, I've actually been getting a lot more questions about genetics, about gene patents, and about like stem cell research and stuff, and how stem cell transplants work. So that is just amazing, and thank you for that. It's making people more interested in learning more about the science behind what they see on the screen. My question is for everybody. Based on the communications that we sort of get, like, it seems like there's a lot of improv that kind of sneaks into the show. And I'm just wondering how much discussion you have about what your hard limits are for this improvisation, or how much of it is just blind trust in your peers.
They let us go. Sometimes they just kind of let us fly. A lot of stuff, I think, between Tat and I this season, we got to improv. Especially, like, the whole burying Leaky's body. I think in the garage. That in the script, it was just, like, describing sort of what we're doing, but TJ Scott, who was directing that episode, was like, I'm just going to set up a camera, and I'm just going to let it run, and you guys just get it wrapped. Just do it.
It was really hard to do.
Yeah, because that was Matt Frewer in there the whole time, so...
Was it really?
He's so heavy.
Oh,
He does
man.
all his dead body
Nobody
work.
has seen him since. Shh. I like how I put my finger up and went, shh. So it's a
Still
clap.
amplify
It works.
That was improv.
I got to improvise a little with Helena when the scene where she's torturing Henrik. Henrik
Johansson.
And he, like, that was at like 2 a.m. on a Friday, and we were all
I
racing
remember.
to the end. Yeah.
I was there. I was like, see you later. And you're like, you asshole.
Like scraping myself off the floor. But he let me go to town there, and
You really put it in him?
I really did. No, it was a dark.
Between masturbation.
She said go to town. In my books, that's what it means.
What has happened to this cast?
No, but that was one of those moments where it was, you know, I'm working with an actor who's worked for years and on everything and is really established and really talented, and he just surrendered. But he just. I mean to say.
Oh yes, surrender.
I meant just
Surrender.
an actor. He allowed, I'm gonna stop talking. That's.
How great though is that pipe? The pipe in that scene.
Yeah,
in your mouth.
our props guy, Steve Stack, who's the coolest guy on the planet. Before the scene, he came up to me and went, because Helena, he loves Helena, and he went, maybe you want to use this? And he just gave it to me as inspiration for the scene. Like just, out of nowhere. It was awesome. That's the
Helena
level of
Hefner.
crew that we're working with. They have the same, the same sort of creative impulses that we have as actors. They're really amazing.
I think we all trust each other as well. It's not like we have limits or anything that we've said, but we know that we wouldn't ever mess anybody else up. And all acting is, occasionally you do something that's just something on your own in a room or something you're thinking in your head, but almost all acting is reacting. It's what you do and what somebody else does, what you're doing together. And we're all kind of aware of that. So it's great to have situations where we're trusted enough to be let go and fly and just kind of have a bit of fun.
We got
play.
to do that a bit
it's wonderful.
I also want to just add to that. Tat is such an awesome person to act with. There are times when she's off camera and she's, we're doing maybe Donnie's coverage, where she'll be saying and throwing lines at me, just improvising them because she knows it's going to get me to a certain place. Like in the rehab when you were basically yelling at Donnie for being such an idiot and ruining the family, off camera, and it doesn't make it in. Like she was laying into me, but like for real, and I was so scared.
She was just enjoying it,
I
though.
was so scared, but she was just like throwing lines at me that she knew would just cut me to the core, and she did, and it just floored me. And this wasn't on her coverage. You will never meet a lead actor who will do that to you on your coverage. It's incredible.
Along those same lines, we've all been on a lot of sets, but this one, there are no egos whatsoever.
No, this guy right here is.
Shut your mouth, Dylan. I will fight you right here. And
we already talked about that. Keep it under control today, okay?
Damn it.
There are absolutely no egos.
Except for
you have
Christian.
The hardest working actor on TV or in the world, who is also the nicest and most giving actor that you will ever meet. It just brings everybody up, and it just creates such an incredible environment to work. So, when it comes to improv, I think everyone just trusts everybody to do their best.
And that's part of it too. Like in leading a show, you've talked about how it's not just about what you're doing on the screen. It's about the tone that you're setting on the set. It's about it's about helping to lead the ship, and everybody brought their A game.
And it's not just the cast; it's crew. It's everybody.
Absolutely. Everyone, crew, cast, production. Everyone saw what we tried to do first season, what everybody responded to, what everybody liked so much. Coming into season 2, everyone's looking around, going, "Yeah, okay, let's do this. Let's go. Let's be brave and see what happens. And if we stumble and we fall and they don't like it, it's okay." Everybody elevated their game this year. I'm incredibly proud to be a part of a crew and a cast that do that.
But also, I think, it's what we do for our job. It's what we do for a living. There's no excuse in anything that you do as your job or part of your life in behaving like an asshole. You shouldn't get away with that just because you're an actor. It's not acceptable.
Except if you're Christian Brun. He's the worst, really. Literally, guys.
I like how Maria also looked at me at the very end of that.
Yeah.
Even if
Very
you're an
telling.
actor.
I'm just kidding. He's the best.
Who's got the right over here? The Hulk. Hello, sir.
I love the show, so I love you all, but this question is for Tatiana. You do a beautiful job showing the differences between all your characters, but what do you think is the major personality trait that all the clones share together?
Oh, that's a great question. To me, they're all survivors. They're all fighters in their own way, whether it's Casima's intellect and, connection with people, or Rachel's ruthlessness and need to kind of decimate everyone around her. They're all survivors, and I think they all are looking for themselves. They're all seeking who they are and having themselves reflected in these other characters allows them to know themselves better. So yeah, and there's a family link too. There's a brother and a sister thing that's really crucial, a sibling thing that we make a family. Yes, that's the thing. That's sort of the crux of the characters, I think.
I think your next question is right over there on the right.
Hello, Sestra.
Hello, Sestra.
My question is if there's a backstory for how Helena got the scars on her back.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. There was the Stephen Lynch, our amazing makeup artist who created all of the characters and everything. He came up with the idea. It was sort of inspired by, I think Graham and John had wanted her to have an angel wings tattooed, and Stephen and I were talking, and he said, "What if she cuts herself? What if that is there's something with Helena that's about pain and pleasure and like kind of an enlightenment, or like what is it when you're spirituality and pain and this sort of connection there. I think she was treated quite poorly as a child, and so there's a sense of love is pain, and pain is somebody showing me that they love me. So her to make these marks on her back is that thing, and also the hatred of herself. I think she doesn't like, initially especially, she wants to kill the other clones because they look like her. She has a lot of hate towards herself, and I think that manifests in the back as well. And we're kind of seeing her evolve away from that and sort of come into herself a little more with meeting Sarah and sort of feeling a completeness, more of a completeness. Amazing costume, P.S. That's awesome. You too over there.
Yeah, right here in the front.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Love the show. I was wondering, last year you three touched on music, and it was a hilarious segment of the conversation last year.
Oh, God.
Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to say But Tat, you mentioned how important music was for your motivation to the individual characters, and I was curious what more was added to this season. And for the rest of you guys, is there anything that you're listening to right now that you're just crazy about?
You guys want to take that? I'm going to think for a second. I don't remember what music I used.
I will say that we were talking about this the other day. There was one song that I listened to.
Well, hold on. Is it the song that we've been singing since we've been here? Turn it for what? Turn it for what? Or can we sing Donnie's new theme song together? 1, 2, 3. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. That's all I know. Do you know any more?
I don't know any more than that.
All right.
Because I was covered in blood at that point.
Sorry.
It's not like they were playing it on set while I'm like shooting Leaky. What am I talking about?
What? That didn't happen? It was okay. Ruined the moment for me.
But I did listen to Foo Fighters' Hero for that scene to get myself pumped up.
Yes.
For that.
You are the man.
Like standing off to the side with headphones on, I'm like, okay, we gotta do this. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. That's how I pump myself up for that scene.
The best.
That's the first song Donnie and Allison slow danced to.
Yes, and Donnie felt like a hero.
Music is incredibly important to me. It's just a huge part of the fabric of my life. I run a record label, and make albums and do all kinds of things. So I meet people sometimes who don't really listen to music very much, and I'm just like, what's the matter with you? It's just ever present in the fabric of my day. I can't imagine it being without it. So I loved when I read that Tatiana, that was one of her ways of preparing, and that everybody has such a strong soundtrack to their lives that of course it would be completely different, and one of the differentiating things in the personalities of the clones. So yeah, God.
How many people here remember the Commitments? I had the biggest crush on Miss Maria back in the day.
What, you don't anymore?
No, I still do.
Come on, Dylan.
Sorry, I got to keep it under wraps. Anyways, before Mrs. S and Paul scenes, I always go up to her. I'm like, Mustang Sally. Her hand down. And she goes,
so
shut
dead.
up. God, you're the worst.
Maria,
That's how we get into our scenes, though. I act like a jerk.
Oh, right. What would Mrs. S? Did you use Patti Smith for Mrs. S?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Patti Smith, The Clash, a little bit, Susie and the Banshees. I was trying to kind of reference all the stuff that she would have come from, and a lot of strong female artists, of course. You know, the Slits, Viv Albertine, Ari Up, Polly Styrene. And then, you know, more modern stuff. I also went, well, she's having her quiet moments. She's going to have a little bit of Bach on, you know, but she needs to calm down, things like that. But it's a really, I'd never done it before in terms of a character. I thought it was brilliant when I heard you talking about it, and I certainly will always do it in the future. It's a great way to think about people's head spaces and, you know, what motivates them, or what their internal rhythm is like.
Do you find when you're working on a project that it influences your own music that you're writing at all? Is there any connection there?
I definitely think you're right in terms of how you're feeling. So if you're doing a lot of sadness or anger or something, that affects the rhythm of what you do. But also, I think if anybody writes, if they write songs or they write stories or something, it's always much easier to write the dark ones, isn't it? The sad ones. And I think it's because when you're sad or you're feeling dark or you're internalizing, you're quiet and you're still and you have time to write. And when you're in great form, well, you're probably down the road at the pub, aren't you? So you're not writing it down in a song. So it's always easier for the dark ones to come out. So you have to make more of an effort to remember or to record your joy, I think.
Wow. It's interesting that you use a lot of strong female singers to find your character, because I use a lot of strong female singers to find mine. I've also been listening to a lot of Motown right now. I've been opening, because it's summer, I open my windows and, like, the Supremes come on. I discovered recently Pandora. I'm a little late to that.
Where have you been the last 8 years?
Watching Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, duh. Well, I've been watching Golden Girls, so whatever. We all have our guilty pleasures, guys.
What were you listening to when you did the montage sequence getting ready for Colin to come over?
Oh, that was not... I should have been listening to Tears for Fears, because that's the song we used, but I was actually listening to... I always go back to Goldfrapp. I don't know why. Strict Machine, Goldfrapp. It's...
Sexy music.
It's sexual, female, empowered. It's strong. There's like that really... That bass line that just like... it gets you right in the groinal region. What's happened to us?
I don't know. There's not a lot of focus on that area today.
Anybody else want to talk about music and not Jordan's crotch?
Zach's witnessed the cowering in the chair. He's actually physically
He's getting smaller as the minutes tick by.
I literally don't. I'm so damn lanky that I never know what the hell to do with my legs
do
when I'm
have
sitting in a chair.
incredibly
Like I'm
long
constantly
legs.
doing this, and I'm like up here and all that. I'm just a giant child, Jordan.
It was
That's what I
above
am.
your...
That's it. Who's got the next question? Yes, sir.
Hi, Christian, my question is for you. I wanted to know what you were thinking when you found out you were going to be the one to kill Dr. Leakey, and how it was done. And also, Jordan, I had a question for you, too. I share your love of Taylor Swift. So I want to know what your favorite Taylor Swift song is. Mine is All Too Well.
That's actually my favorite song. I do love Taylor. I've diversified my musical collections. Well, as you can tell, Motown. I discovered Pandora, so I'm no longer listening to one CD in my Prius. But I just think she's an amazing lyricist.
Have you seen that YouTube video of her at the Grammys where she was like...
Where she gets her award taken by...
Oh my God, we're talking about Taylor Swift again.
What happened?
Get me out of here.
Is she okay?
She's swinging her head back, and they've, like, photoshopped Ken or Ryu from Street Fighter kicking her in the head. It's incredible.
I love Taylor, but I really want to see that.
For me, when we don't get to watch the episodes, did my voice just crack? Oh my God.
Hey, puberty.
Yeah.
So I'm going through puberty, and it's finally hit.
How does it feel?
It feels great.
You look good.
So we don't get to watch the episodes, but we're fans. So our chance to experience an episode firsthand is when we finally get that script in our email inbox. And usually it comes at the weirdest times. I remember that episode came in. It was episode 7, 207. It came in at 1 in the morning. I was just about to go to bed, and I was like, damn it, I have to read this. I need sleep. So I sat in bed. I'm reading it. And the writers had warned me that it was going to be a fun Donnie episode. I was like, okay, cool. So we get to like with Sarah playing Allison playing Donnie and Donnie playing Allison scene. I was like, that is awesome. That's so cool. Wow, they really did a good job. That's great. And then all of a sudden they get to the Donnie finding out that Allison's a clone scene. I was like, oh my God, I'm part of Clone Club. That's amazing. They can't. I was so excited. I'm like, okay, they can't top that. So I'm reading the episode, and it gets to Dr. Leakey outside, and I'm like, oh my God, here it comes. This dude is dead. I'm like, Paul is jiving up right now. This is amazing. It's Paul. He's totally gonna off him.
It was supposed to be Paul, actually.
Was it really?
You SOB.
Yeah.
I was supposed to strangle Leakey to death. By the way, continue your story. Sorry, just wanted to interject right there.
Well, I thought it was you. I
did
totally
too.
thought it was you.
I did too.
And I'm reading the episode in bed, and all of a sudden it's like, Donnie, what? Oh my God, Donnie has a gun? What is going on? And I'm like, I can't shoot him. It can't be me. Oh my God, it can't be me. And then it's like, oh, Donnie puts the gun down, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, phew, because that was, oh my God! What? Oh, shit! And I literally started jumping up and down. It was 2 in the morning. I'm jumping up and down, going, shit. Oh my God. I was flipping out. I couldn't believe it. And then I couldn't sleep the whole night because I was so excited to shoot Matt Frewer in the face. It was insane. They promised me, yeah. I didn't think they could top the Craft Room of Terror, and they were warning me that they were going to, and they totally did. So that was my reaction.
If anybody's sound ever goes on their TV and they're watching an episode, like, you could totally just do all the voices and act it all out for them. That was fucking brilliant.
While we're on the topic of Donnie, what kind of underwear are you wearing right now, Christian? I just want to know.
It's NerdHQ.
Inquiring minds would like to know.
Let's keep it. We've already.
Guys, do you want to see what kind of underwear Christian's wearing right now? I sure do.
No,
I think it's time to drop trow, pal.
What is this? No.
The tidy ladies.
All over again.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Let's see what he's got. Oh! He's a boxer briefs kind of guy. My man, right there.
So sorry.
Christian Boone does not wear tidy ladies.
Do you realize what just happened?
No.
No, stay.
Oh, no.
Stay.
Marky Mark's famous pants dropping routine.
He just did it.
First of all, sir, you are a brave man.
It's called Shameless.
And
Zach, tell him to do whatever you want.
And
He'll
second,
do it.
you are all sick people. I'm just throwing that out right now.
Yes, you are. And I love
Yes,
you.
take your
By the
clothes
way-
off for our pleasure. Yes.
We were talking about
Your
crotches.
television show is not enough. We must see your underwear.
We were talking about crotches earlier. How great does his crotch just look? Can I get a round of applause for that?
I like how there's mild response to that.
I know. Come on, guys. All right, sorry.
Zach, were they much better behaved last year before we came?
No, we were bad.
Zach is more horrified. I was. Your face is absolutely in horror right now. You have contorted your body to the point where you can't feel things now because
Jordan?
Orphan Black will
Please.
haunt your dreams.
This is not the worst thing that's ever happened on this stage, my friend, let me tell you. Or the most shocking, or the most shameless, or the most good-looking. I think we got time for maybe if they go fast, we can probably do 2 questions, but we'll start with 1 because that's how you got to do it. Right back here.
That was awesome.
Vintage Helena.
No, my question was about Tony, because I know a few trans guys. I've never met one that kept their hair long and liked guys still. So I was wondering, what was that like doing that?
It was awesome. I love Tony, and I think what we really wanted to do with him was explore him in the same way we do with all of the characters. I've never met somebody like Helena. You know, I've never met a Rachel, you know, who looked like that. And I think, you know, we just wanted to treat him the same way we do all the characters and go as creative as we could with him. And I know that, you know, aesthetically he is a bit maybe non-conforming, but to me that was the exciting thing about him, is that I think he challenges people's ideas of gender, and in a beautiful way challenges Felix's ideas of who he is, and sort of has this sort of mirror up to him. Yeah, I love Tony's mullet. I think it's awesome. You know, I think I want to meet a guy like that. I think he would be wicked to hang out with, and yeah, I think we didn't want to, you know, by no means are we representing all of trans men. We're just telling a story about a unique individual, and that was the focus and the joy in doing that.
I would really encourage anybody who hasn't seen it to watch Lana Wachowski's speech, her sort of coming out speech about her life, her experience, and her ideas about gender and stuff. It's absolutely awesome and incredibly moving and honest. It's really amazing.
There's also a speech that you sent me, Panties Bliss at the
Abbey
which was
Theater.
amazing. It's a speech. It's about a 10-minute speech on homophobia and how pervasive it is in culture, and how it's still rampant and much more subversive than it used to be, and that's sort of what makes it even more nefarious. So check it out, Panties Noble Call at the Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Yes, and you may be the last one, so no pressure.
This is awesome. I wanted to know, though, if your characters were aware of the audience, how do you think they would react to the fan art and the fan fiction and all the love and support for your characters?
So much narcissism.
I don't think they'd have any problems
I
anymore.
don't think they would either.
I think they're all desperately trying to find love and community and a family, right? A lot of the clones. So I think having that sense of I belong is the drive, is the constant drive, and we really feel like you guys are an integral. You are the show. You know, you're with us every day on set. You're in our thoughts always, and in our motivations. So, you know, I don't know.
Well, speaking of being with us, a fan gave me this doll right here with some nails, and they go, "We love you, Nail Gun Ken." So now, that's how much I appreciate the fan art, that I take Nail Gun Ken with me wherever I go. So here he is. This is Nail Gun Ken hanging
Well, we
out.
all know how Dylan Bruce reacts to fan art now.
I take it with me wherever I go, so it's much appreciated.
I think if Donnie saw how many pictures of his butt were out on the internet, he would do more squats.
By the way, welcome to Butt Club, buddy. Woo!
Butt Club!
Yeah.
I think what's really great is when you see the fan art. I'm not talking about the characters, but I think the fans really have like a solid understanding of everything, and sometimes it makes us rethink our approach to things, and it's I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful ones out there they're really inspiring, and I think they, at least for me, they're helping me along because it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially now that there are a couple more.
Especially, sorry, no. I was gonna say, especially to know that fiction is moving people that way. The fact that, I mean, these are fictional stories about fictional people. Not to say that they're not anywhere, they're just as real as anything else because they're parts of us and they're parts of you and they're part of the human experience. But my God, to know that something that kind of came out of, it's just brain stuff. It's just intellectual property and fiction that moves you guys enough to show us how much it means to you. That is not lost on us. That's amazing. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. Same thing. Same thing. Just, we see your art as being, no, you said it, whatever. You said it way better than I'm going to say.
I just wanted to say really quick, because we got to wrap up the panel, which I'm really, really sorry about. But I just wanted to say that it's so evident, and I think you guys can all attest to this, it's so evident how special you guys are, how special your unit is, and how special your show is, and how special your leadership is, and all the love that you guys feel for one another. And that's not every show has that kind of thing. So what you guys give to one another and what you share with one another, that's incredible. And so thank you for not only doing that with one another, but then sharing that all with us today. So thank you very, very much. Let's hear it for these guys.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank
Let's
you.
give it up for these
Thank
guys.
you.
They're still on the stage. Keep it going. The cast of Orphan Black, everybody. So good.